This is First Coast Math Clinic with a video on commutative and associative properties from our foundational skills videos. The goal of this video is to identify and apply commutative and associative properties of addition and multiplication. So we're going to start with the associative property, and there's an associative property of addition and an associative property of multiplication. And we'll just go through what these properties are. So our associative property of addition says the values can be grouped in any order when adding. And our associative property of multiplication says the values can be grouped in any order when multiplying. Now, when we're talking about the associative property, think of the word associate. Okay? When we associate, we're grouping. And in math, well, we're using our grouping symbols. So we're using parentheses, brackets, right? So our associative property of addition, our associative property of multiplication deals with grouping. So we're using our grouping symbols, parentheses, and parentheses, right? So our associative property deals with grouping and deals with parentheses. So for example, our associative property of addition, we could have something like 7 plus 3 in parentheses plus 2 is equal to. Now our values can be grouped in any order when adding. So I can change our grouping 7 plus, and then our parentheses will be around the 3 plus 2. Now we know that we perform order of operations are parentheses first. So we're going to do the 7 plus 3 first. We'll get 10 plus 2 on the left side. 10 plus 2 gives us 12. On the right side, we'll do the 3 plus 2, and we'll get 5. And then 7 plus 5 gives us 12. So the left and the right side are equal to each other. So our grouping here doesn't matter when we're adding. And in terms of multiplication, let's say we have in parentheses 3 times 4, close parentheses, times 5 equals 3 times parentheses 4 times 5, close parentheses, right? So our grouping changed. On the left side, we've got 3 times 4 in parentheses. On the right side, we have 4 times 5 in parentheses. So on the left side, let's do 3 times 4 first. We're going to get 12. And then times 5, which we're going to get 60. On the right side, we're going to do 4 times 5 first, which we're going to get 20. 3 times 20, we get 60. So in this example also, we get the same value on the left and the right side. So no matter how we grouped our multiplication, we got the same answer on either side. All right, let's look at the commutative property now. Our commutative property has a property of addition and multiplication, and our commutative property of addition says the values can be added in any order, and our commutative property of multiplication says the values can be multiplied in any order. Now, when we think of commutative property, all right, think of the word commute. Think of like order. So what order are we going, right? So our commutative property of addition deals with order. Commutative property of multiplication deals with order. We can add in any order. We can multiply in any order. So an example for commutative property of addition could be something like maybe 3 plus 7 plus 9 equals 9 plus 3 plus 7. So our order changed here. 3 plus 7, let's go left to right, is 10 plus 9. 10 plus 9 is 19. And then left to right, 9 plus 3, which is 12, plus 7 is 19. Again, the left side and the right side are equal to each other, so our answer checks, right? Our values can be added in any order. Our commutative property of multiplication, Let's do 2 times 3 times 5, and maybe 5 times 2 times 3. So again, we're changing our order. And let's check this just by multiplying left to right. 2 times 3 is 6 times 5. And then 5 times 2 is 10 times 3. 6 times 5 is 30. And 10 times 3 is 30. So again, we were able to multiply in any order and get the same answer on either side. So our commutative property says our values can be multiplied in any order. All right, we got 30 and 30 on the left and the right side. And our commutative property of addition says our values can be added in any order. We got 19 and 19 on either side. All right, let's get into some examples where we use the commutative property and associative property of addition and multiplication. All right, so for number 1, let's rewrite this using the commutative and associative property. So I'm going to start by using the commutative property. So we know our commutative property deals with order. And we're adding here, so it's going to be our commutative property of addition. So we're basically just going to change the order of our values around, right? So instead of 2, oh, not times, should be 2 plus 2 plus 9 plus 5. Let's change our order. So we can make this 5. And I'm actually going to do this off to the side, so I could do this 2 different ways. So this is going to be our original, and then we can make this 5 plus 2, and then we'll pull the 9 out here. All right, and if we check this, 2 plus 9 is 11, plus 5 gives us 16, and then 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 9 is 16. Now let's use our associative property. Well, it's going to be our grouping. All right, so let's maybe just change where our parentheses are. So instead of the parentheses around the 2 and the 9, or 2 plus 9, we'll do 2 plus and then parentheses 9 plus 5. So now let's do the 9 plus 5 first. So we'll get 2 plus 14. And then 2 plus 14 gives us 16. So we got the same answer here, 16, 16, and 16. For number 2, let's rewrite this using the commutative property of addition and multiplication. So our commutative property of addition basically says our order is going to change when we're adding, right? So where can our order change? Right? We're adding here and we're adding here, right? So maybe we can kind of switch our order like here and here, right? So we'll make 2 major switches. We'll maybe move like 3 times 4 plus 6 plus 12. And then another switch we can make is move the 4 and the 6, switch the 4 and the 6. So 3 times and then 6 plus 4 plus 12. All right, and to check this, let's add in the parentheses 4 plus 6 is 10 times 3 plus 12. 3 times 10 is 30 plus 12, and that gives us 42. And our commutative property of addition, or multiplication, excuse me. So let's rewrite the original. So we've got 12 plus 3 times 4 plus 6. And where are we multiplying? Well, we're multiplying 3 times 4 plus 6. And our commutative property of multiplication says we can multiply in any order. So we can basically just switch. Then our commutative property of multiplication says I can switch the order of the 3 and the 4 plus 6. All right, so if we switch that, 4 plus 6 is going to give us 10 times 3, and we get 12 plus 30, which is 42. All right, so using our commutative property of addition and our commutative property of multiplication, we get 42 and 42. So we get the same answer both ways. For number 3, let's rewrite this using the commutative and associative properties of multiplication. So we've got 3 times quantity 4 times 5x. So let's use our commutative property first. So I'm just going to rewrite this as 3 times 5x, or 3x times 5x times 4. So in parentheses. Then using our associative property, I want to group the 3x and the 5x together. So we can change our parentheses. So we've got 3x times 5x, and then outside the parentheses is going to be the times 4. For number 4, let's rewrite this using the commutative and associative properties of addition. So let's start by using just our commutative property and change our order here. So we've got 5x plus, then in parentheses 3 plus 7x plus 9. So I'll do 5x plus, and in parentheses 7x plus 3, close parentheses, plus 9. Now let's change I'll use our associative property and change our parentheses. So 5x plus 7x in parentheses plus 3 plus 9. So now we can let's add the 5x and 7x. So these are our like terms. We'll get 12x plus 12. And that's our simplified expression using our commutative and associative properties of addition. All right, so this video was on commutative and associative properties. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. First Coast Math Clinic.